Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of Telemazing. I'm Joseph Mwamba with Subhash and Alex and Denim, and today we're going to be talking about the 3-view of FLAKED. There was a show that dropped this past Friday, and we're going to talk about it after we've watched 3 to 4 to 5 episodes of it. So let's get talking about it, and the first thing I want to talk about is the premise. Was the premise good? Did you go for it? Was it something that you could buy into?
A guy with issues goes through life. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of detail to it. And I was intrigued by it because from the very beginning, Will Arnett is such an anti-hero. And I was like, alright, I'm intrigued by how this is going to go and how they're going to make him likable and make me want to root for him throughout this series. So it intrigued me a smidge to get started on it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hated it. After the first episode, I was like, oh my god. I have to at least sit through 2 other episodes, because correct me if I'm wrong, but the story never went anywhere. It was just flat for me.
I think the thing is, this is one of those Netflix shows like Love, which is a indie movie that they've made into a TV show. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these indie movies, they try to be different from other typical movies or TV shows. So it's a very slow burn. Mm-hmm. And granted, this show, it's not like you're going to kind of like it. It's either you really like it or you're not going to like it, like Denim said.
Yeah. The major thing that was frustrating for me is that none of the episodes went anywhere. Like, it was never something I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's crazy. Or, I mean, that's just what I'm accustomed to through my shows. Like, there's always some type of action, something that happens that kind of gives me a little, but then pulls me back and like nothing ever.
At the end of the first episode, I thought there was something that they gave over the kombucha bottle.
Well, here's the thing. I also think it depends on what you're looking for. Like how you said, it's not what you're used to because you're used to action and something like an event leaving you.
Yes.
But I felt like there was a lot that happened in every episode if you're looking at what Will Arnett's character Chip is going through and what he does. And his progress and then his steps backwards. There is actually a lot happening with his constant fight within himself and the person he's trying to be.
So let's talk about the characters. First off, let's talk about Will Arnett's character, Chip.
Yeah, which is a reflection of his true life because he is an addict. He's an AA. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is based off of his life a little bit. Yeah.
That just upped my appreciation of this character.
I love the character. What you said before about the internal struggle, you can really see it on his face. It's this, the thing that, like, he's not dealing with his issues. It's just always there in his mind, you can see, but he's just not dealing with it. Yeah. And I really like that. I think that this character is really well fleshed out, and I think it's great. I love the character.
You're such a jerk, and you're undermining everything with these little quips and things that you say to make your best friend feel doubtful. However, he then turns around and still tries to be a good friend and still tries to help him out and is there for him with his mom. So I love that struggle because he's fighting against his instinct, which is probably to be the bad person, and he wants to be good, truly.
Which I think is like the struggle of an addict. I think we're seeing a struggle of an addict, and everyone wants to support an addict, but like living with a person like that is hard. And I think we're getting like a first, like really close look at what it's like, what it must be like.
So let's talk about Dennis. I think that Dennis's character is such a beautiful representation of the best friend of an addict, especially since he himself was one, got out of it, and actually, of the two, technically is the most clean version and actually the most sensitive.
He's in a better place.
The better place, but yet he still looks so up to Chip.
Yes.
And it's just so beautifully written and so beautifully acted by him, from his frustrations about that, but also going like, he's my go-to. Who else do I go to?
Yeah. The friend that he is to Chip is, like you said, beautifully written and also so incredibly engaging, more than I think you initially think he will be, because there's so much frustration in how good of a friend he is to somebody who's maybe not as good of a friend back.
But the only thing I would say is, like, it's frustrating, but also remember, this is a guy who's given his entire soul to Chip. So anytime that Dennis goes like, hey, you're being a jerk, Chip could just easily get into like the babble of hey,
let's live in the present.
Exactly. And I feel and Dennis is kind of like, I can't argue with this because this is what actually helped me, so I can't really combat that.
Was this such a horrific thing for Chip to do too? Is to use his own past addiction and the words that were used to help him, like reverse psychology.
And that's what I think. I think Chip doesn't view that as like me being him being deceptive. He views that as him being the best friend, making his other friend make him realize what he's doing wrong.
He's not trying to be a jerk. He's not trying to.
And that's why I think that's the personification of this entire show. It's like Chip is being a jerk in so many instances, but that is not his intention. He is truly intending to be a good person, but but typically that sometimes hurts other people, which he doesn't realize it hurts them until well later. Yeah, let's talk about London. I think that her character, the way that she's inserted in, is just so well done.
I like the fact that you can see she clearly has feelings for Chip and she's into him, but she also doesn't want to hurt Dennis's feelings, and I just like that she's playing both parts without being too much.
Yeah.
I will say the character of Venice in the show is actually very. I'm glad you said something because it is very, very well played.
It's vivid. It's you can feel it. Like,
exactly.
It's very important to the setting of the show. It's not a background. It's an integral part of the lifestyle, the way they approach everything, what they do.
Yeah, and a very integral role when it comes towards the end of the season as well, because of like the way the plot goes. You need to have that feel, which is exactly what, like, your point, the slow burns. It's just like, there's a reason why. Because those last 3 episodes, everything you've learned and you get, like, deep in your heart gets put together now. It's like, okay, here's a little mini-series, now that you know the characters. And it's so well done. Alright, so what this show is not very similar to many others. I mean, we could say Love.
And Togetherness. Very similar to
That's
Togetherness.
also very true.
Oh, I have not seen that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, you're right.
It's got that indie movie feel. Yeah.
Alright, so... is Flaked worth watching? I will start by saying, because I'm the only one so far that's seen the entire season. Honestly, no. I think there are better shows out there that you can invest your time in. But I would not say that Flaked is a bad show. I think that if you are interested at episode 1, see it to the end.
I think I'm gonna basically agree with you. I haven't seen the whole season, but if you watch the first episode and you're like, okay, I enjoy this. It's not the tempo that you're used to. It's not the type of plot that you're used to. But if you enjoy character development and seeing a real life type of struggle and real life characters and don't mind that slow build and character development, you'll probably enjoy this show. However, if that's not what you're looking for, you're going to be bored out of your mind.
From the very beginning, I just was not into the show. That's just not my kind of feel for a show. It was just too indie for me. Like, I'm not really into indie type of shows.
I think... although this might not have been like the most perfect show, I really like the show. I am, I guess, one of the indie people who like watching this type of stuff, and I don't really like watching the network shows because I think that the whole like interesting thing has to happen every 5 minutes. It's like too artificial for me. It's too concocted and too perfect. I like imperfection, which is what the show is, and shows every one of the shows is not perfect, and that's what I really like because it reflects real life.
And so that's it. That's going to be our review of Flaked on Netflix. Make sure that if you like what we talked about, like the video below. Along with that, we do so much on Telemazing. We have all of our videos over here. I'm about to hit Alex's face. All these videos over here. Along with that, we also have our podcast every Monday and our Telemazing live show on Periscope on Wednesdays. So make sure you subscribe. Get up to everything that we do. You know, we do a lot for you and for us because we just like television. Anyway, for Denim, for Alex, and for Subhash Santosh, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.